Senior correspondent John Merle is a former assistant FBI director. John, good morning.
Good morning.
So what are we learning from Tsarnaev? Well,
yesterday as he was talking to authorities, basically in writing, he can say about one word at a time. They went through the public safety questions and really trying to find out, are you part of a group? His account so far is that this was driven by his brother. It was mostly done online in terms of radicalization, finding instructions, so on and so forth, and that there is no international terrorism organization or Mr. Big behind it. Now, there's an important caveat there, which is everything he said or wrote has to be checked out. They're not taking that at face value.
Mm-hmm. And what are we learning about this rampage they went on Thursday, where they went after this MIT officer?
And that's how it starts. So the original question is, you know, they walked up to that car and it appeared that they shot the officer in the head unprovoked, that it was an assassination, but why? How did that fit into their plan? And the operating theory now in the investigation is that they were short one gun, that the older brother had a gun, they wanted to get a gun for the younger brother, and the fastest and most efficient way they could think of doing it was a surprise attack on a cop to take his weapon and go. Officer Collier had a locking holster. It's like a three-way lock. If you don't know how to remove the gun, you're not going to get it out. And there was apparently an attempt to yank it, and they couldn't get it and left.
And there's some chilling new details from the victim who was carjacked, right? I mean, it was in just in Terrell's piece. They essentially were bragging about the fact, allegedly, that they carried out this attack.
That's right. I mean, they basically said, we did the Boston Marathon bombing, but the rest of their conversation, Nora, is in Russian. Now, the carjacked victim doesn't speak much English, and he doesn't speak any Russian, so he was debriefed very carefully about, well, what else could you hear they said? And he said, the only word I recognized was Manhattan. Now, that tripped a lot. That's why we saw last week stopping the trains from Boston to New York, searching the trains, and NYPD flipped on its network of license plate readers at all the bridges and tunnels coming into the city and loaded all the license plates associated with these guys, because if they were headed to New York, they wanted to make sure that trip before they got in.